Welcome back, everyone, to the Nevin Shapiro Show. I'm Mike Tirado. I'm here with Nevin Shapiro. And today we're going to get into the breaking news that just happened over the weekend with Wisconsin filing a lawsuit against Xavier Lucas. We're also going to answer a few questions from our fans about a couple of past fastest Hurricanes and positions, and we're going to get into it a lot. We're going to be off next week, so don't expect any videos, but we're going to give you a longer one today. It's going to be a little bit longer, so stick around for the entire show. It's going to be awesome. Before the video starts, please click the subscribe button real quick for us. We're sponsored by BTN Connect, which is backed by Athlete Narrative, the all-in-one recruiting platform getting kids seen, signed, and to the next level. And of course, as always, let's get into the action. Let's get right into it. Wisconsin is the first school to file a lawsuit for tampering. Of course, the University of Miami is involved in this. We always happen to be the first school to be involved in always sanctions or probation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I don't know who this is sitting next to me.
Yeah.
So
neither do I, Mike.
Yeah. They're making claims that Miami was making impermissible contact with Xavier Lucas. Before we dive deep into it, what are your initial comments?
I think that this lawsuit has everything to do with setting a precedent for collegiate sports, for this new NIL world we live in. I don't know if it's so much directed at the University of Miami as much as it's the first sign of like tampering. So of course we set the bar always. We're the first defendant in the case. I think this is a litmus test for the NCAA and this NIL situation. That's what I really believe this is. And I don't know where this goes. I can tell you one thing. Miami's not the only team to ever tamper over the course of time, right? But it's getting caught, I guess, would be the answer. I think it's a bullshit allegation. I think it's a bullshit lawsuit. Even if it did occur, it's occurring everywhere.
Right.
It's the norm.
We just have to be the example.
Once again, Mike, they're the clowns. They've created this. This is their landscape.
Yeah.
All they had to do is listen 15 years ago.
And the University of Wisconsin has said that they're not going to pursue legal action against Lucas, but the Big Ten came out and said that they're supporting this lawsuit against Miami. Yeah. My whole thing is what you just said. Every single school is doing this, but Miami has to be the guinea pig. Is it just, do you feel like we're just still that much hated?
We are. We're paying Miami today. I've said this before on our show. We are paying today in 2025 for the Miami Hurricanes of the 1980s. It's never going to go away. Like, those were the baddest motherfuckers in the history of college sports to this day and forever. Look around your room.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
That's who we are. And we're proud of it.
Of course. And I think this is, I've done a lot of research on the whole case, and it seems like it's a classic retaliation because Xavier Lucas's attorney, Darren Heitner, came out and planned to file a lawsuit against Wisconsin, accusing them of blatantly violating NCAA rules by not inserting Lucas's name into the portal when he had requested. So it just seems like now that he kind of left them high and dry, it's a classic retaliation. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I happen to know Darren. We've spoken a few times. He's a very sharp attorney. Definitely knows this NIL space. If you find a window or a loophole, you use it. And if Wisconsin didn't dot their I's and cross their T's, fuck them, right? That's how it goes. I'm sure Xavier Lucas is going to be fine. As a matter of fact, I'm glad we got him. He's a great addition, I think.
I think he's a local kid. He's coming back home.
I love
Should have probably never left in the first place, but we got him back.
I'm happy with it. I'm glad he's good. He's good to go. Let his attorney handle that bullshit off the side. Miami will work out whatever they got to work out. Get ready. This is the norm.
But I wanted to get into this side of it. So after all the research I have done on this, my biggest concern is that the NCAA might want to make an example out of the University of Miami in the form of sanctions and potential probation.
Well, I mean, that's getting a little bit too far ahead. But I do believe that it's what I just said. Like, this is a litmus test.
Yeah.
This is like a precedent-setting situation. And I don't think it's going to be the last, for sure. But I can tell you, Miami is definitely, I'm not saying they did tamper, but they're definitely not the only team that does.
Oh,
Everybody does. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
There's a reason why they're not playing these spring games now, and they're not televising them because they don't want to showcase their talent for tampering.
We're back to the NCAA looking like schmucks, like they are. I want to just go off kilter here for a second.
Go ahead.
I read some of the comments, some of the times, whatever you guys let me read. And there's so much hate that always goes towards the University of Miami. Now, I know I had my situation. No question. I know I had my situation. And one thing that I notice is people continue to rag, well, Miami's been trash for 20-something years. Let me tell you something. We set the standard. We set the fucking standard, man. We set the standard. Like, I was watching the number one running backs, most yardage ever gained, 91,000 yards. Someone put out a stat, University of Miami running backs. And some idiot goes, well, Frank Gore carried the scales. Okay, so take 16,000 off those yards. We're still at 75,000, way ahead of everyone else. Like, who does really not think we are, like, the cult? Even if it was a while ago, what we did is never going to be duplicated. I don't want to start going on it. I got a lot of, like, man, I could shit on a lot of programs. Like, all of them. All right, I'm sorry.
Listen, we're going to get into some other segments here.
I just got into my bag, man.
Yeah. We'll get into some other segments. Let's wrap up this Xavier Lucas thing for a second here. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that it's a possibility, that's what I wanted to ask you, do you think it's a possibility that the NCAA could make an example out of us, could potentially put a probation or make us ineligible to make a bowl game?
They could do whatever they want. Does it make sense? No, they don't make sense. Like, anything's possible. You know what I mean? Anything's possible. They could do it. They don't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, they'll do it. Like, I don't know. Anything's possible. Do they deserve to be fined, probation? No.
Yeah.
They don't have a handle over their own situation. No.
Okay. So my last thing on the segment then would be, let's just play a scenario game. You're back involved with the NCAA, which we know would never happen, but let's just say you are. What rules and regulations would you put in place to stop this going forward of this tampering, of these kids being really sought after when they're under contract?
I wouldn't. Martial law. Everybody go for themselves. What? Like, really, that's how I feel. It's never going to happen, man. There needs to be a governing body. Like, the NCAA's got to be overthrown. I've said it 100 times, screaming the top of my lungs. They're just incompetent. They're incompetent, man. They're just incompetent. A governing board needs to... It's starting to happen.
Yeah.
Certain conferences are ready to go on their own. This situation is not going to be the same 3 years from now. I'm just telling you.
And what do you...
You know what? I'm putting Wisconsin on probation. Who says I can't? That's how the NCAA acts.
So what do you foresee it in 3 years then?
I just think it's going to be in conferences buying other conferences. It's going to be like 2 power conferences. I see the SEC and the Big Ten is what I see when the dust settles. That's what I see. Just 2 major conferences, and everyone else playing to get into like the remaining seeds into a bowl. And a good sign of that is this settlement that the NCAA just came down, because other sports are going to end up disappearing. It's just become it's going to be basketball and football. Pretty soon you won't see any other college sports. And it's all could have been avoided. That's the reality. This all could have been avoided. This is about greed, Mike. And this greed has been taking place for a long time. The NCAA got really, really fat, and that had a lot to do with my situation with these people. And, they reap what they sowed, man.
Yeah. No, it's it. So at least hopefully that clears it up for you guys on the whole lawsuit side.
Yeah, martial law, everyone. Go nuts. Break out the bag for everyone.
Honestly, I did not expect that answer out of you. Since it's a little surprising. Thought maybe you'd want a little bit more law and order.
Yeah. No.
So, we'll get into this for a quick second. Miami picked up a couple commitments over right now, actually today. I think it was today or yesterday. We took the kid from Georgia, the longest receiving commit, and then we had Van Stafford, and then we took the
watch the guy who looks like Herman Munster. He'll give you the update on like what those kids are taking in high school right now.
Yeah.
What classes they're in.
Miami's really spending the bag right now, man. They're loading up.
Yeah.
They're loading up for that,
Great.
as far as talent-wise.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully this guy can coach them.
That's it.
That's it.
That's literally it.
Yeah. I mean, they got talent, man. What's to say? Like,
yeah.
I've made my comments. Everyone thinks I'm nuts. I see all the Notre Dame comments. This guy's smoking crack. He's this and that. Yeah. Who's coming in here to talk college football with me? Just DM us.
Yeah. So we had a couple comments also come in from some fans, right? Our viewers and our viewership on our videos has been exponentially growing now, and it's been great. We appreciate all your guys' support. But one of the questions that came in was, well, there was two. One was, what's the fastest hurricane of all time? And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring that up on the show. I think that's
I'll give you the three guys right now.
All right, go ahead.
And if I'm off I'll give you the top four that I can think of. Philip Dorsett, Sam Shields, Darryl Jones flew. Number one, Rose Bowl, played in our Rose Bowl thing. He's from Texas. Pretty sure he's from Dallas. And I'd say the four, probably, and you actually put me on this one, Travis Benjamin. Mm-hmm. He's up there. Those four. But those guys fly.
Yeah.
And you'd say, well, no Devin Hester. Devin Hester was the fastest when he was running away from someone. But on a track timed, what's wrong, Mike?
No, nothing. Just, something here maybe
on laugh. The field.
Yeah.
Okay. No. God damn, you think in the gutter, man. It's crazy. So, like, those guys are the fastest to my recollection. And I consider myself going back about as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Those guys fly, man. Fly.
Yeah. No, I did bring that up when we talked about it briefly. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, Devin Hester kind of, but, yeah, no, I mean,
Devin was, man, fast as can be. But like,
elusive. Yeah.
Those other guys on a clock.
Yeah.
The fastest that I can remember.
Right.
And if there's someone faster, someone would have to bring it to my attention.
Right.
Darryl Jones was like right there, man. That guy, like, he was just electric fast.
Mm-hmm.
Electric.
So let's get into this top 5 list. This is the other one of every position at Miami. Really, the main positions other than offensive line.
Yeah. Well, I would still give you my offensive line.
I love it too. We could get into the whole
thing. So here, let me
thing.
knock off the offensive line real quick.
Okay, all right.
Centers. Brett Romberg and Casey Jones. Probably I'd put them neck and neck. Best center we ever had, if I'm thinking off the top of my head. And, of course, I could miss one here and there. I can't just go back 40 years because I'm going back to the early 80s, right? Offensive tackles, Leon Searcy, Brian McKinney. Guard, I don't know. Those are going to be my 4 guys.
Okay.
I'd say right there. Maybe Eric Flowers. I don't know. Those 4 I'm pretty solid with. What's my next position?
Receiver.
Okay, now I need to specify that I acknowledge Xavier Restrepo has the best statistics as the all-time leading receiver, but that's not what this is. Who's the best receivers? He's not better than Andre Johnson. He's not better than Reggie Wayne. That being said, those 2 are in the top 5. The other 3 I'd put in probably are we talking NFL stats or are we talking about at the University of Miami? I think we should stick to the University of Miami.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
We can.
Okay. So I would say the other 3 would be Eddie Brown.
Okay.
He was incredible. Michael Irvin, Santana Moss.
So, but who's your top 3? Who would you go top 3 all-time UN receiver?
Irvin, Andre Johnson. For me, Santana Moss.
Okay.
Because I just love him.
Yeah. Okay. Running backs.
Best running back of all time for an individual season, Willis McGahee. Two best individual seasons offensively ever at the University of Miami. McGahee, his big year, 2002, and Cam Ward. Those would be the two best individual offensive seasons. Now, top 5 running backs?
Sure.
Okay, is that what you asked me?
Yeah.
Top 5 running backs. Really difficult. McGahee, Portis, Edgerrin. Hard to put Frank Gore in. Hard to keep him out. But he didn't have the most unbelievable career. He was injured. I put a guy like Highsmith and Mel Bratton, and I'd tie them. Just, they're one. Maybe Cleveland Gary. Hard for me to leave Gore off.
Yeah.
I'm putting 6 guys in. He's my 6. But there's other guys, too, that were really good. But I'm going to go with those 6.
Yeah.
And Bratton and Highsmith tie as one.
You know what sucks is Duke Johnson was such on a terrible team.
It's
but
hard
he was
for me
so
not
good.
to, you know what? I got to put Duke Johnson in there, man.
He was so good.
I
He
got
was
to
just
take
on such
Cleveland
a
Gary
shit
out.
team.
I got to take Cleveland Gary out. I'm putting Duke Johnson in. That's a good call. And I thought about that too. And his stats are there, and he played the whole ride. But when you were a Miami guy back when, you didn't have all those. You didn't get 4 years.
Yeah.
You had to wait your turn. It was a different era.
Yeah. No, you got to put Alonzo in there, Mel Brown. I mean, you have
those
to.
guys are
They're incredible.
Yeah. So what am I next to? Oh, tight
Let's
end.
go tight end. Yeah, I was going to go tight end. Let's go there.
Shockey.
Of course.
Winslow. Greg Olson. Njoku was pretty good. Jimmy Graham only
Or Jimmy
had 1
Graham.
year.
Yeah, he only
had 1 year.
Yeah, we're talking UM. Okay, we're not talking.
Listen, Willie Smith was incredible. Mid-'80s. People forgot about him. He was incredible.
Yeah. I think that's 4 or 5 right there. Jimmy, you said Njoku, Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow, Olson, and then we can throw in, I don't know who else we would throw in there.
Brevin Jordan was pretty good.
He
but
was. It was good.
Yeah, you got enough there.
Yeah, we got enough there. Honestly, Elijah Lofton could potentially. No. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good pro, though.
Maybe he will.
I think he will be a good pro.
He's got time to get.
Yeah.
I think Winslow was the best of all time at tight end.
At Miami?
Yeah.
Wow. He was incredible.
He was incredible, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, am I done with the running backs?
Yeah, let's go quarterback.
Quarterback, top 5. I mean,
yeah.
I'm putting Cam Ward in there. Testaverde. I don't put Toretta, even though he won the Heisman. Kelly, Walsh, Kozar.
Wow, you're keeping out Toretta.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was he better than any of those guys?
I mean, you win the Heisman. No.
You could have won the Heisman that year.
All right, let's go.
And I like Toretta, but just being honest.
And then we'll make an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Best fullback of all time is Najee Davenport at UM. Has to be an honorable mention.
I'll give you that.
Right? I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, we'll take him. He's
okay.
Good. I love him.
All right.
Even though I am a Quattrin Hill fan.
Yes.
Personally.
We love Quattrin Hill.
All right.
Okay.
Safeties.
All right, we'll start with the defense. We'll start with safeties.
This is a really hard one, but I'm going to give it to you. Benny Blade's number 1 for me.
I love it.
Sean Taylor 2. Ed Reed 3. Darrell Williams 4.
I like it. I mean,
who's Darrell Williams? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's back in the back way back.
I got
when.
you there, Mike.
You did.
I know. It's all right. All right.
I liked your top 3 though.
Cornerbacks. Phil Buchanan for me. Love him. Antrell Roll, who was a corner, then went to safety. Bubba McDowell, I think, was a safety. Man, I'm going back deep. I'm going back deep, but I'm gonna stick with just those 2 guys, Phil Buchanan and Antrell Roll. I'm just partial to that. Linebackers. Now, there are some guys that I really like a lot personally. Like DJ Williams is one of my favorite guys of all time. But my linebackers, I'm just sticking with the triangle, man. Barrow, Darren Smith,
Jesse
Armstead, and I'll put Ray Lewis in as 4. And my 5th guy would be Bernard Clark. Winston Moss, honorable mention. Defensive line.
Before we get into the defensive line, let's make an honorable mention, just because, we recently
Nate Webster, I'm also putting in as a linebacker.
We recently ran into him, Mr. Marley. Have to. Unbelievable, Rohan Marley. That guy just, for a little guy, man, that guy could.
He brought the thumper, man.
Yes.
Yeah, he brought the
definitely
thumper.
An honorable mention has to be in there.
Defensive lineman, there were so many great ones, but I'm just going Jerome Brown, Cortez Kennedy, Sapp, Will Fork. Man, there's so many. William Joseph.
Got to give him an honorable mention.
Fuck, I'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah, you wouldn't. So, okay. So, Sapp, Will Fork, William
Assistant
Joseph.
Coach, Luke. Head coach, Jimmy Johnson. That's it. We're done.
Give me top 3 coaches of all time, UM. Head coaches.
Jimmy Johnson, Howard Schnellenberger. That's it. There's no one else.
No. I thought maybe you would put at 3 Mario Cristobal.
I'd put Al Golden first.
That was me instigating.
Minus the tie.
Minus the tie. No tie on that one. Yeah. So I know you had this whole dynasty topic that you kind of brought and wrote down a little bit. I don't know if you still have it with you.
The dynasty topic. Yeah. So let me give a little bit of follow up to what we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Right. So you were asking me about, or I threw my 2 cents in about the Miami, like how we've just run the show and everything else. Let me just tell you what we've done. 1986 to 92, 3 national titles. We won 5 straight major bowl games, 78-6 as a record, 2 Heisman trophies, and a 58-game home winning streak that is still tops and will not be broken. Who's beat that? Ever.
No, it's...
Ever. And multitudes of swag.
Yeah.
Any Notre Dame fans out there? You know we're going to stomp your shit, right?
I love it. And now we put the one behind you today.
Why do people think Notre
Orange
Dame...
Bowl.
Like, I have a question. Like, why do people think, like, Notre Dame... Why do people think, like, Notre Dame is going to come here and just blast us? I don't get it. Like, you understand, like, we know we're a bandwagon city. We know we're a front-running city. But when that stadium's packed, is there someplace louder than being in Miami? How did Notre Dame do last time they came into that buzzsaw?
They got absolutely roasted.
Same way they're going to do when they come into the buzzsaw this year.
I love it.
Yeah, like, I'm going to have to sit on my hostility, Mike. You're an instigator.
I love it, though. You know, I like when you get a little animated.
Yeah.
You know? It's good for the show.
I love when people call me a clown. That's my favorite. A clown, really?
Clown.
Clowns don't touch $5 billion. Clowns don't do what I've done.
You know,
right?
For our next show, maybe you should dress in a clown suit.
Yeah. maybe for the next show, I'll invite the clowns to the circus. The real clowns out there.
All right, let's end the show with this. Miami's most recent Vegas odds, okay, were plus 3,700 for the national title, and we are plus 350 for the ACC championship, if I'm not mistaken. So 9.5 over under.
Yeah.
Right now for the wins as well.
Yeah.
So what's your assessment? I mean, okay, 9.5. You gave a bump. You gave the bump.
I think it's going to be right there. I think it's going to be right there. I really don't like. I looked at Miami's lines. I looked at the odds, their projected odds for every game. They're an underdog in one game. Notre Dame, which I can't understand why. They're at home.
Yeah.
Notre Dame lost their quarterback. They lost their defense coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know, man. I'm bullish on Miami. You know, if this guy, honestly, man, if Mario Cristobal could just get his fucking head out of his ass and coach it through a season and like just show that he's made some adjustments and improvements in his own coaching game, aura, whatever the word is, they should make the playoffs. That's it. And if they don't, man, there's just no excuses. We're done. I'll say the same thing every week, or as long as you keep asking me.
Yeah.
It's this year. They got to make the playoffs, or it's playoffs or bust. Mm-hmm. Playoffs or bust. If he don't make the playoffs, I cannot even imagine what his excuse would be, could be, or what will be accepted.
Yeah. And what? So if you had to take the 9.5, you're sticking with the over right now because you gave him a bump, so you taking
it's going to be right there.
Yeah,
I mean they're either 9-3 or 10-2. That's what I really think. I mean they're just much more talented than the other teams they're playing, talent wise.
Right,
they just are.
Right.
Oh, Notre Dame's got a very good offensive line. Their defense was really good last year. How they translate this year, I don't know. They got a brand new quarterback, but more importantly, it's the first game of the season and they're coming into a snake pit. That's it. I'm basing that game Miami's at home, not because Miami's great. They're at home. They should win.
Mm-hmm. Plus 350 ACC champions.
I would take it.
Take it.
Yeah.
I would you take them to beat Clemson in the ACC championship?
If they get there, they can beat them.
What if they get there against SMU?
I think they would. I think they would beat SMU. I do predict them to lose at SMU this year. But I think if they do play
in a rematch,
yeah, I think they'd get them.
Okay.
The only reason I like them to lose against SMU is because there's a lot of Miami guys there. It's a personal situation for a lot. They'll be jacked. Rhett Lashley will be jacked, and it's a road game. That's the only reason. If it was at home, I'd like Miami.
Right. Okay, and then the final question. I mean, I asked you a couple weeks ago when we redid that agree and disagree segment. Plus 3,700 national title, Miami Hurricanes.
Plus
3,700.
No. I don't think they're national title quality. Too many unknowns for me. Mm-hmm. Not that they don't have the talent. They do. I think they do. I think they have offensively they do. The defense is
still a big question mark.
It is until we see.
Yeah.
Not saying they can't.
And I'd
rather bet the field than bet Miami on the national championship.
Well, sure, yeah.
Odds.
No, of course.
But would I be shocked? No. Look what happened last year. They were 9-0. What were they? 9-0 before. No one saw that coming.
Right.
Cam Ward just showed up.
Yeah.
It did work.
Right. I just don't want the same scenario last year as we score all these points because Carson Beck comes in and let's say he does what he's supposed to do, and then we don't have a fucking defense to cover anything, and we score 50, but we lose 50 to 56.
Their recruiting is looking way up.
No,
their stock is looking really up. I mean, let's just get to the season already. I like doing these things. We have fun doing it, and people, I guess are coming around and this and that. Just the season will be really good. We'll have a lot to talk about. And me, I'll be honest, man. I'll just fucking spit facts.
Yep. No sugarcoating on this show.
Never will, man.
Nope.
You want Cap, go watch one of these other UM situations.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Absolutely.
Who do you guys want to see as a guest?
There you go.
They'll come on. I mean, I'm just not chasing guys right now, but they'll come on. Who do you guys want to see?
Drop it in the comments. Who do you guys want to see on the show next? And we'll personally reach out. And don't say Mario Cristobal, because that won't happen. Anybody else?
He's welcome.
He's definitely welcome.
I don't care. I mean, he's welcome.
Yeah.
Just, it gets hot in here, man.
Yeah. It's cold in here, but it won't be.
Yeah.
All right, guys, click that subscribe button again. Thank you for watching the show. And, of course, as always, we'll catch you on the next one.